Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your favorite Chess Journal YouTube channel. I hope all of you are doing great, and I have logged into chess24.com, a beautiful site for playing online games. And today we are gonna continue with the chess strategy for intermediate level player. Let's try to search for an opponent in the 15 minutes rapid category, standard game. And thanks for tuning in. Those of you have joined or subscribed already, special thanks to you. And we've got a game. And okay, this one. Okay, let's try for another one. That one was a guest. So if we get black pieces, what are we gonna play? I guess we're gonna play the Pirc defense or the Pirc. And okay, we got an opponent with 1300 rating, a bit lower rated than us. So as usual, I always start with the queen's pawn opening, d4. I guess d5. Let's stick to the simple opening. Today I'm gonna try the Jobava London system, but with knight c3 first, and then bishop to f4. Okay, so they have played c6, understandable, and now this move isn't gonna work because the main objective of playing these couple of moves at the very early of the game is this knight jump. For the sake of instruction, we're gonna stick to the structure of the Jobava London system. Although we could have played after d4, we could have played the bishop out first and then developing the knight here. Then we could have tricked the opponent, like they could have thought that we're gonna play the London system, the normal stuff, by playing e3, and instead of e3, then when we play here, then that would have come as a surprise. Although they've got a lot of options to play against the Jobava London, like they could develop the knight in an awkward square, protecting this square here. And what are we gonna particularly learn today? I'm gonna talk about a lot about the squares, targeting the squares. So as well as attacking the pieces, you should. If you're an intermediate level player, by now you should know that you could also attack the squares. Doesn't matter if that square is vacant square or is not vacant. The square itself, as you see, it can be treated as a house or home where our pieces reside in. So if we attack the house, doesn't matter if that a vacant house or if it doesn't really matter if that's a vacant house. If we can grab the square or occupy that house by ourselves, that's gonna be a strategic victory very early in the game. So they have played knight a6. Now here, what is the purpose of that move? Maybe they want to come here, but what are they gonna do if they come here by playing knight b4? I mean, these square is guarded, these square is guarded, and they don't gonna jump here. But we can now that this allows us to play in the center directly by going here. So let's play e4. And later we can actually capture this knight, get rid of our light square bishop as well, and make their pawns doubled. Although in some positions, in bullet chess, I would welcome my opponent to capture and make this pawn doubled so that I could have my rook here and then target here. But that's more like upper intermediate level play or slightly advanced level play. You intentionally create weakness in your camp for the sake of opening up views of your major pieces. That's one of these strategies, but that's a kind of like, as I said, it's like upper intermediate level players who are rated more than 1700, 1800, etc. But if you're a player just in the range of like 1300 or 1400 level, then playing in such way might be detrimental, because safety first, as we know. Now they're taking a lot of time. They need to think whether to, they're thinking whether to take or not take. I guess taking here is correct. That would allow our knight to jump here in the center, but then they could probably attack our knight and develop their bishop as well. So when we attack, we do not only attack for the sake of attack, we also consider whether that's going to be helping out development as well. Say for example, developing the bishop here and guarding the pawn here is not a good strategy. Excuse me. It's not actually. I think is creating a weakness. So we are going to now fight for this square here, the highlighted square, c7 it is. So now let's capture this knight as discussed and make their pawns doubled. So yeah, as I was saying, a very special thanks to those of you who have already subscribed to my channel. By the way, this player is from Ukraine. I can see from the flag. It's on the further left side of the board or the screen, which I didn't capture here for the sake of magnifying, because had I... Okay, that's just I don't know. It's straight shot blunder, is it? Or the plan is to take this pawn, attack our rook, and then once the rook is guarded like this, they're gonna take our knight. But we can here actually, well, if you're an intermediate level player, you might think of, retreating your bishop. But my recommendation is not always look for the immediate threat that comes with opponent's move. Instead, look for something stronger. Here I can see if we take this one, then they have to react. Otherwise, this bishop is also under fire. So let's take this one. This square is also vital. So these 4 squares here in the center of the board, whoever can occupy these 4 squares, they're gonna control the entire game. So which is the reason why capturing in the center is vital. Now they have decided to take this pawn b2, but we're just gonna play in the center and we're gonna let go this knight, because if they take this knight, then that's gonna be, we're gonna defend with the bishop, and that's a tempo on the queen. Queen has to move again. So and if we take this bishop with our pawn, then we have potential to take these weak pawn here. So let's capture here. Let's capture the light square bishop. So they have captured our knight, and that comes with the tempo on our king. And now, as discussed, let's block the check by pulling the bishop back, letting go this pawn as well. But we're not worried because they're going to lose castling right if we take this pawn. Yeah, let's just take this pawn. Here comes the tempo on the king. King has to react. We can also take this pawn. So their pawns are falling all over the shop. All over the shop is an idiomatic expression that means that everywhere. Now let's take this pawn. Now this pawn is gonna fall as well. They're not careful. Probably giving a giving a check here is their best bet. Actually, you know what? This square, this pawn is not crucial for us here, but this square is important for us. They have set a battery with their rook and queen against our bishop, but the bishop is proper guarded. But we can, what move can defend this square and our bishop both? Definitely if we play knight f3. So that's also developing our knight, right? So when we move any piece for the sake of only defense, then we also need to think whether that's a development as well. So this move, if we play knight f3, we are going to, knight is going to guard this square, as well as our knight is going to guard our tall square bishop. And as well as we have our king's castling right. So let's develop our knight to f3 square. And now they have given a check. Here, here, okay. Let's first of all, let's count. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces on board, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces on board, right? What about the pawns? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns. Pawns are equal in material, but this pawn is weak, it's gonna fall. And as far as a piece up is concerned, let's try to exchange queens. Let's pre-move this capture. Okay, they have decided to take our this unguarded pawn at c2, but now I can see that, like we said or we discussed earlier, the knight jump here in this square, e5, and that jump also comes with a tempo on the king. So let's do that. We always look for check, captures, threats, fork, and pin, right? So let's do that. And the king has decided to go back to its regional square, and that's gonna win us more material, because if we take with this light square bishop here, how are they going to defend this checkmate? By they have to give up a piece, or here I guess they're gonna give up this piece. And now let's take this one, and checkmate is around the corner. And how do we checkmate him? That's a nice checkmate here. Actually, no, it's not checkmate. They have still the queen. They need to give up the queen. But in that case, once they guard that with the queen, then, well, we could play here. Yeah, let's play here. Oh, sorry, that's a blunder. I forgot this one. Or, yeah, no, this one as well. But that one comes with a check. Oh, man. Right, so now we don't have any option but to took our king. I'm sorry, guys, I made a blunder. But the checkmate threat is still there. That's a silly blunder from my part. I'm extremely sorry, guys. And that doesn't stop the checkmate. And that's a checkmate. All right, and let's try to play another game. This opponent was a bit lower rated. Let's see who we get this time. Okay, we got a game and we've got back black pieces. Now against e4, let's try the, I haven't been playing the Pirc for a while. Let's try the Pirc or Pirc defense. Let's develop the knight to f6. Today I'm gonna play the Fear and Shadow version. Maybe then later or here. Or the Czech Pirc. Should we try the Czech Pirc here? Yeah, let's try that one actually. That's my favorite way of playing the Pirc defense. Blocking the knight jump as well and opening our queen's transportation or queen's path. Okay, they have developed the Oscar bishop here on e3. Okay, let's continue. This is a proper Czech Pirc, or this is also sometimes known as the Vital variation. The Czechoslovakian grandmasters, I think his name was Ufimtsev. Sorry, I'm very bad at pronouncing these guys' names. Ufimtsev and then Grandmaster Pidal. They popularized this variation of the Czech of the Pirc defense, and instead of Ufimtsev and Pidal, people call these guys the Czech Pirc or Czech Pirc defense. Now here we could take, or by the way, here our opponent is a bit stronger than the last one, Mr. Sher Khan. I think he's from India or Pakistan. Here we could actually dive in this central square. Remember that we are gonna early in the game we said that we're gonna talk a lot about the squares. We could dive in this e4 square as a central square because this knight cannot take our knight due to the pin. I'm just thinking whether do we do that. In that case, if we jump here, the queen needs to be played here. I don't see much of an advantage. Also, let's just capture. Despite the fact being our queen out very early in the game, we are actually doing equal because of the fact that controlling the center, stuff like that. So you guys need to build a constant habit of evaluating your own position. Um, Now still we can play here, but like I said, I mean, like this move, I don't see how we're gonna progress. So let's just capture this one. So notice that we are already pawn up, so that makes our position a bit better than their position. Here they should develop this knight here and attack our queen. And in this case, our queen could go here, or she could go here, keeping the fork. I mean, sorry, keeping the pin. What am I saying? Keeping the pin alive. So as anticipated, they have played knight f3. And I think let's go here and keep the pin alive. And next move, we're gonna develop our light square bishop if our queen is not threatened. But I don't see an immediate threat. They can go here. Okay, they have. That's a good move actually, because they are developing their light square bishop and preparing to castle short. Now, as discussed, let's develop and pin this knight. Later, we're gonna play here and open this bishop's path and prepare ourselves to castle. A very simple plan. Our knight can go here, then queen can come back here, and this rook can actually go here in queen's home. So they could, okay, they have decided to castle short. I was gonna say that they could challenge our bishop there. In that case, we could have taken. Now, we could actually play here and play like this way. I'm not so sure. So let's develop this knight. It's not doing anything here. So I'm just waiting for them to play this one. So if they play that one, our plan is to take this knight, and once retaken, and then we're gonna jump with our knight, tag the queen, and this light square bishop. So it's a good game for us already. Now, this square is up for grab by our knight. So jump in here, tag this knight. So they have to play here. Oops, they have decided to attack our queen. Okay, now a couple of options. We could take their bishop and we could take the knight, and they have to take here because otherwise no. I was gonna say that we're gonna be pieced up. Are we? Sorry guys, let me just think. No, we're not gonna be a piece up at the end of the transaction. But what if we take with the knight and give a check? Then they'll have to take here with their pawn, and then our bishop will be under fire, and our queen is already under fire, so that's not good. So I don't see any other option rather but to retreat with the queen. The question is, where does the queen go? We can come here or here. Which one? That is the question. You know what? Let's come all the way back home, because we still have these threat, and now they have decided to play the bishop back. Let's exchange queens. Always remember, guys, in Pirc defense, exchanging queens early is actually benefits black. Let's take this knight and damage their pawn structure. So they have decided to take with the bishop. Let's take the bishop. So light square bishops are gone, and in return, after all of these exchanges, we have a better pawn structure than them. So we are already doing better. We're doing much better now, definitely. So now our light square bishop needs to be developed, and they are capturing this knight is not going to be beneficial, because that's going to help them to strengthen up their pawn structure. So instead, what are we going to do? We're going to finish development. Let's start with the queenside progression. Here we are strong, and if they take here, we're right. We're okay to capture the knight. So our plan is to attack in the queen side, and as discussed, they have decided to take our knight, and we have to take back. So our bishop is now a good bishop here in this diagonal. In this diagonal, the bishop's mobility was restricted, which was one of the reasons we played a5. So that's a peculiar move. Playing king h1. Let's just take this pawn. So they're gonna be another pawn down. Okay, now let's capture the pawn. So we are a couple of pawns up, and they have attacked our dark square bishop. How do we defend? Or do we? Let's defend and activate this rook. This rook needs to be activated. Although they can play here and then target this pawn. What's the purpose of that move? They're attacking this pawn, so let's retreat our dark square bishop here and also attack their bishop. So they have decided to play c3, defend their bishop, dark square bishop, and now this pawn is under fire. All right, we always needs to be alert. So let's defend our pawn and grab space as well. We are grabbing this square and this square. So every move has to have a purpose. The more you can play moves like these, the better you will be in chess. So that's a good move, trying to get rid of one of our rooks. And here we're not gonna immediately react to their threat or move by capturing this rook. We are going to help them developing their rook and grab this open file. We're not gonna do that. Instead, let's attack their dark square bishop by playing here. I'm saying that, okay, you take our rook. We're gonna recapture. You don't have time to go here and attack this pawn because your bishop is under fire. So they have decided to play bishop e3, a retreating move. Now is time to okay, if we castle here, they have this file. That's a check. I guess let's come here. So if there is a check here, our king could actually go here or here. I think going here is this square is a light square, and they have got a dark square bishop. We both actually have dark square bishop, so staying off of the dark square bishop is going to help us to avoid further checks. So our king is happy in e6 square at the moment. Is actually much more safer than their king, because the king has two escape squares. Those and both of them are light squares. So that's a trippy move our opponent played. Rook g1. They're not gonna. I mean, I think they're planning to come here, tag this pawn. But I guess it's time to activate our rook, right? This rook. Where do we go? Do we double up? Now let's not double up, because if this capture happens, this pawn is gonna be a passer. So let's put the rook in an open file. So if this happens, now if this happens, then we can grab the rook. So that's gonna be blunder. Here actually, I mean, not this one. Coming here with this rook and trying to get rid of this rook's position is, I guess, the best move. Okay, but that's if not a sacrifice, that's a blunder, because we simply, before taking this move, let's calculate. Oops! Oh my God, that's a mouse slip. I was gonna say that before before taking this pawn, we have to calculate what's our opponent's threat. Oh man, what's happening? So that was a mouse slip. So okay, let's take this pawn. So they have these check here, and then we're gonna defend. And this pawn is a potential passer. Let's try to exchange a pair of rooks. They shouldn't exchange rooks, because that would allow us to promote this pawn. So I hope you guys are enjoying these games that I'm putting up here on YouTube for you to learn the games I'm talking about, the series of games. Let's put this rook in an active open file and try to push this pawn. The games I'm talking about is the series of games for intermediate level players. We have already talked about the chess strategy for beginner level players. If you are new to this channel, please check out the playlist, and there you will find cool strategies for improvement in your chess level if you are a beginner. How do you know if you're a beginner? If your ELO rating is less than 1300, according to me, that can be treated as a beginner. Although that's only my view. There are differences of opinion, obviously. Now what do we do? Let's push this pawn, see what they have. Probably this bishop wants to, yeah, that's the reason why they played here. Now we could actually take this rook. Or we could place the rook here, double up. But in that case, if we double up here, they're gonna capture a rook. We have to recapture. And then it's unclear. How are we going to? So if we take these, okay, if we take this rook, they have to retake with their other rook. And that comes with the tempo on our king, right? So in that case, we have the opportunity to activate our king. So are you guys with me? Okay, let me do this again. If we take this rook, they're going to retake with their rook. And that comes a check on our king. And then our king can move here up. So a passed pawn needs a constant guard. In that case, our rook is free to give all kind of checks and capture threats, and our king can actually help promotion of this pawn. So let's pre-move this one. And this square is guarded. This bishop cannot defend any further check because of our last square bishop. So yeah, like I was saying, intermediate level players try to think from the perspective of squares, like squares. Like I said, squares can also be attacked. Squares can also be guarded. Doesn't matter whether they're vacant or not vacant. So if you build a habit like that, your chess will surely be improved. So let's go and tag that rook. So the rook has to move out of that square. See, I'm saying the way I'm saying out of that square. So that moving from c5, moving from b6 to b5 square is actually pinning our bishop, but our king can actually come to c6 square and tag this rook. No, okay, is the rook trapped? I'm just thinking. No, the rook isn't trapped. It's got this square, and that means we can promote this pawn one square up. So let's do that. So slowly but gradually, this pawn is rolling up. It has got only a couple of squares left to promote as a queen, so they need to react this threat. This is gonna be very tough for them. So they have this check. No, they have decided to play rook a1, but that doesn't stop us to go here, attack this rook as well. And that's a common common puzzle tricks. How do we play now? It's very simple. We just put this rook here. There comes a tempo on the king, so they have to react. How do they react? By taking our rook, and we retake with our pawn and promote as a queen. So that's the reason why they resigned. Understandable. So I'm gonna stop the video here for today. Thank you guys for watching up until now, and if you are new, please consider subscribing and keep me motivated. Till next time, take care of yourself. Bye bye.